the full moon eclipse that's happening on the 25th of March here, it's going to be activating my generation, which I'm beginning to understand generations. You know, it's not really a matter of years passing and we're like, well, now we're in 2020 and now we're 2040. No, we have generations of people that are having to do a process of awakening here. And having said that, it's not happening here on a level, on the critical mass level of its true potential. We are getting killings and pushing downs, and why this is happening, you know, you will have to look into what is it that is making that happening, and then it'll explain why. Okay, I'm not going to get into that right now. I mean, there's enough. We're not even close to uncovering what is the influence that keeps mankind away from knowing the devil, and then in fact realizing that there is a God. See, these words right here, and people take them like they think that they could fucking just run, and now you're gonna read some scriptures off to people that's having a real conversation and have a real presence here. You are rude. That shit's fucking rude. All books should be burned. And guess what? Nothing is gonna be lost. Not really. There's people with enough, believe it or not, there might be enough people here with just enough knowledge of how to keep in contact with the truth. The truth is there's a presence here that is way more powerful and intelligence than what is stirring around in the cuckoo's nest, which you can visibly see and hear and touch. It's completely taken over. It's completely taken over by something that says, hey, I can do this because you're losing truth. You're losing the truth. You're losing connection. This is the truth, you see. And having said this, babes, with the eclipse moon, see, the people that are, see, I don't want to keep directing like this people war, but this is the way that it's happening, that if there is enough nerve damage where you're moving away from the truth long enough that you're not hitting anything, and so that you have a synthesized, like you have a placebo that you're doing. It's like, yeah, no, I'm actually doing it here, and your mind is making you believe that you're contacting something that's worthwhile, and it's like, no. Welcome to the world, though. You're carefully quarantined, and if you want to consider it the Earth too, yes. We don't know how to get into outer space. It's like, it's because you don't qualify. You haven't even turned your fucking senses on yet. And this isn't one's fault. It's just, this is what's happening. You have an intelligence system that you're in. It's your body. It's not, and the mind has the profound. The mind is just a jar that says, oh, that was an experience, and then let's collect what was good out of that. And that's an experience, let's collect what was good out of that. And believe it or not, you narcissists, I hate to tell you this, all experiences are just a ladder to help us climb out of the rock and the hard spot. Those are words from a private band, I guess, local. You work with people and they have a great idea with music, but to say it again somehow, and I don't like the subject matter because I'm way past being hung up on this, but you know what? When you're hanging around people that are so fucking, let's get back to your nerve endings. Like, are you in your body yet? You know, it's like you have a profound responsibility to turn your eyes on and use them. Use your ears. It's a lot more than this, though. See, we have senses that go beyond just the five senses. These are what empaths, just human beings, are capable of. I was trying to tell in my last video, which is, whew, but we're heading up to this eclipse season where it's kind of an in-between, especially in between the eclipses. See, we haven't had the first eclipse, which has everything to do with just, it's going to happen that we see something in our personal relationships. Our personal relationships are either falling apart or they're going to get more solid. Now, the way that they fall apart or get solid is through this form of communications that if you're not talking, your nerve endings are pretty soon going to tell you something. This is where a lot of the diseases are coming from, autoimmune, all of them. I would say all of them is because you're being gaslit by narcissists around you. You're gaslighting yourself, and it's not good. You're taking yourself out of your own faculties and your skin and it's very important that we interdepend. There is no codependence and there is no interdependence. Not more so than what's real is the scientific interdependence of the intelligence of the organism to do the right thing. The right thing is it's always, the right answer is always going to be the truth. And I'm going to stay here and try to be as, see, I'm going through something with, okay, so what I was going to say is I'm going to try and be here for the rest of my life. And this is what I'm put on the planet to do. I share with people. I don't have very many friends in my real life because I tend to have a lot of energy and I want to pour. I'm excited, but and they think it's a problem, like a dysregulation. It's like, oh no, I can actually just turn my back and I can never see you again. I don't care. See, I'm at the point now where it's like, why do I care? Because none of you are in my life, not really. And Facebook is you find all of the mental cases there that are saying, I just hit accept and we can be friends. And every single one of them, when they come in my private room and they start sounding like an automated, and they want to know too much about your life, but I just say, you know what? I start going to this place, and honestly, really, I don't mean to seem like I'm disrespectful, but Facebook is disrespectful. Thinking that there's somebody there right now in a picture like that you're watching me, you're not. I'm going to keep explaining that to where a 5-year-old will say, really, do they think that you're really there? If I'm holding this up and this is a picture of me, is that me? The answer is hell no. I don't know. I don't care how fresh it is. You just pull it out of a Polaroid and you shake it in 10 seconds. See, there you are. No, it's not. I'm here, you fucking goddamn idiots. This is a real problem that we're having out there. This is what the problem is. Nobody knows how to be present with. Now, I'm not saying it's the computer that has always been the problem. Guess what's the problem? The mind. Meta. Mentality. The mental field. That if there isn't awareness of it, if it's not aware of itself, pardon my intensity, but we have an eclipse coming up that's at 4 degrees Libra. This is activating my generation. I am a leader. Now, you narcissists, you don't get jealous of leaders unless you're jealous of Jesus over there. Oh, you just want that position of being sacrificed, huh? Huh? As what you're supposed to do. I'm just an apparatus to hear. And if you cannot hear me and you don't turn your senses on, then you don't even, what do you think that you're going to deserve if you can't appreciate what you have now? What do you think you're going to get any more? And what do you think this money is really doing? Masking all that, who does that belong to, really? Really? What is it? Why is it a blind spot? What's the blind spot? I'll tell you, it's the mind. More and more, the deceiver, that, okay, now when you say deceiver, babe, it's the mind. So you can have power over a parasite by just knowing that, oh, that thing can actually, because of its deficit of unbelonging, it's in the universe, but it doesn't belong in the universe. It has a hard time with universal law. It really, if you ever really got close to a narcissist, you'll see it's like, so you don't know that it's important to just, there are universal laws. See, I'm not somebody who follows rules, not man's laws. I'm doing universal law, and it's beautiful. It's like, oh God, and you know what? I hate the subject matter, and I already put it up. I've had experiences with men who It's happened more and more. I've never noticed it before, but it's like, it's immediate. They're afraid of me. They're like, and pretty soon I'm like, what's going on? And I'm looking at it's like, this person doesn't really know me, and but really they're a narcissist. Okay, they are. I was used as a scapegoat by one. You know, they knew that they had they didn't. It's not that you know this, you stupid narcissist. This is how you treat people. At one point, they're just dispensable. You're just going to throw them out because you can't use them anymore for your fucking fantasy in your mind. And there it was. It was right there, happening to me, and I could care less, right? I can just see it though. But the depths of it is, this person is so frightened of me. Comment section down below if you're a woman with your faculties on and you haven't sunken under. You're just like, actually, no, we are equals here because there's reality and the truth, and that's the even playing field here. How are you doing with it? How are you doing with it? It boils down to a simple, good conversation, too, and you can see it, you can feel it, like this person is not having a conversation at all. Not real. And you don't take it personally, just move on. See, what narcissists are doing is they're trying to make things work that don't work, because they are going away from the feeling of the experience, and they have something in their mind, and it's like, well, it'd be great. Wouldn't it be great if we could just get together and pose like this? Let's do it! And it's happening out there. I'm sorry, my voice. It's happening out there. I think my generation, I hate it, and this is what makes me a leader. They got sucked into something that's like, that tried to die, like that's something of the 50s, the 40s. We can't do that. First of all, we cannot live like that anymore. You know, the heavy consumerism, and then the fantasy of love and family. No, no. What the Pluto and Libra generation is, which is my generation, if you can imagine, it's not time that we're celebrating a new year that's moving us forth. It's the people, that humanity itself that's here as generation. I associate with Pluto that degenerates and regenerates. It's just God that says it's time to wake up here in this area. It's time to empty the closets out here. Let's open the closet and look, put a light in there. Let's see what all the things that you're hiding of your inner, most deepest self, what's hidden from you that you'll never know in a million years. The answer is yes. Some people will never know that they don't know. And so how? See, in my last video, I suggested, well, I said they can know if it's meant for them to know. See, the problem with waking up into true enlightenment, really, your whole life is going to change. It's a slow process. You start to eat differently because you start to feel more. It's about feeling here, and who I am is somebody who struggles in a world where nobody has the same way, a capability of feeling as I do, believe it or not. Over the past 3 or 4 years, that's enough. If you've been falling down and practicing like, oh, I don't feel, and I'm an asshole. That's long enough for the entire narcissistic society to stick you to that and say, that's you. Look, there you are. They will. It's so sick, because that's just the way their minds work, that they can't collect from an experience the good things, and that means maybe that you should remove your prejudice and your desire of mind that wants to dominate and stand over and say, well, you know, you're down here. Let me give you a few breadcrumbs. Yeah, I love you. You want to look at it. Self-serving all the way to the bone. I would say the worst are women. The worst ones are women that are narcissists, who they use their position, like I said, their position of power. I don't want to get into this too much because it's none of my, I'm not doing this. What I'm doing is just paying attention. And we can't keep fooling. We don't fool ourselves about things. I'm telling you right now, use this eclipse to just allow the things that aren't working and that aren't real to drop away from you. And see here, but here's the key, because this is what the eclipse in Libra, and some astrologers are getting it wrong. They say that, oh, the sun is causing the eclipse in Libra. So, you know, Aries, Mars. No, it's the Earth that is Venus ruled that causes an eclipse in Libra. And so It's Venus ruled because Earth is Venus ruled. Taurus is Venus ruled. So, and fire is Mars ruled. Fire is man, Earth is woman. Fire is just the essence, what is needed when it mixes intelligently with this, it creates. It can create. This has a profound responsibility. It's more like it's a chemistry. Like if you can just approach it with pure science like this, because this is actually how it is. That's what astrology is. It's a science that points at all possible other sciences, other ways to learn real science. Only because it's a symbol system, esoteric, that helps us see into the truths of things before we even experience them. How does that happen, Shauna? We have a civilization, believe it or not, there's just a presence of people that are paying attention, and they say, oh, you know what? Water has 3 different states. Gas, this is the truth for everybody, and the truth is the same for everybody. That's how astrology works. A lot of people, there's a philosophy, it's the mind that doesn't really know that. The mind can't even know what the truth is. And the mind is if you want to know the truth about the mind, it's a fucking jar. And you're supposed to store things that are useful, that are worthy of that storage, you see, which is the truth. It's an experience, and it's like, isn't it cool that if you were a kid and you only heard and you never knew, see, this is what the problem can be, that they know, they can memorize material, and they're called smart, just because they can memorize what Einstein or somebody else found through books. Not right, but that's what kids are doing, and it's called a cerebral narcissist, which is very, it's falling under see, there should be categories because there's shades of gray. They fall under the communal narcissist, the cerebral narcissist, the somatic narcissist, the sex addicted narcissist in the end, because um, there's a way that they keep suppressing it. They're not even interested in it, right? They think it's a power game. It's always a power game. It's like, no, you should set your mind aside and look at what has power is true knowledge, and knowledge is coming from the truth. Your mind has to surrender to that, and it's a constant thing. It's a constant remembering. Remember. If anything, that the mind has to remember, set yourself aside. Even though that we're doing the same thing, it's different every time. In that, it's not the same time. You're not in the same place. The moon moved a little bit. We're in a different awareness. We're progressing. Maybe there's transcendence happening. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this at all, Transcendental meditation is not known what that is. See, there's the sitting meditation. There's transcendental meditation that doesn't suggest to sit. Sitting meditation is the most advanced, like the top notch. What you're gonna find out that is very useful. You become a Gwen Tower by the time you're 65, 70, 80, and you're doing sitting meditation now, which you don't have to wait till you're completely immobile, but narcissists will. They're always waiting till the last fucking rubber band stop, like, ah! It's like a punishment. It's not even anybody punishing them. It's really just, if you don't see the truth long enough, it's punishing. You won't be able to, you can ignore the truth all you want, but you won't be able to ignore the consequences that will happen from having ignored the truth. And if it involves people, getting back to the Libra is very people oriented. It has to do with, see, the trine with Gemini and Aquarius. This is humanity. Libra says, I love. It used to. I hope you watch these videos. My effort is sincere and honest to just be who I am. I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm battling. If you're anything like me, babes, you are. You're battling the low life, parasitical frequencies, and you can't really get help unless somehow you just find. See, this is what I'm going through, and I think Jesus went through the same thing. She's like, you know what? You're not going to help anybody here. You haven't helped yourself. You're not alive yet. Because then that all backs up. If you really look at it, you just find yourselves dialing in. There's a dial in. See, narcissists know nothing about dialing in. When I say narcissist, I mean the fully encapsulated mind and awareness that is locked in as mind. It has no awareness at all yet. It has yet to find itself. This is a real condition, and it's got this feeling of, I know something is wrong, but I got to hang on to this, because they don't get out of it. They don't get out into the real place of what it's, now I call it faith comes into mind. It's trust. Trust the universe. Trust that God knew what it was doing when you came here, okay? See, getting back to the beginning when I said you don't have to, your experiences, all of them are a ladder just to climb out of the rock and hard spots. So you don't, if you do not learn from every bit of them, even the worst ones. I'm talking about your fucking abuse that you use as an excuse to not just be here now and be a better presence to just your own feelings, and then avoid that toxic relationship. See, what the eclipse Libra is helping us do, please take advantage of it. Get out of your toxic relationship. Get out of all of the awkward associations that don't really vibe with you. Even if you don't know why or what, just know that you're not in the right place for you. You probably just need to go in, like fucking Aries has been doing this for us. For all of the signs, we call it the protractor of the dark night of the soul, going on for fucking 2.5, 3, 4 years now. The truth, yes. Because purging out of, away from the generational and degenerational ways of Pluto, that really, that's what marks it. And that's what's coming alive now. See, with it moving into Aquarius, the Libra generation is going to try to have their chance to do something good here. We're here to do something good, by the way, you fucking narcissists who are abused so bad that you're programmed to just think that everything is going to go wrong. And I didn't learn from that bad experience. How do you learn from that experience of being sexually abused by Satanists and blah, blah, blah? You fucking people. You do need therapy. You do need to get into the presence of people that are learned of something beyond the mind, which is the truth. You do need to learn the nature of the mind. You're just very slow now. You should have gotten into it by the age 3 by way of loving people, giving you enough space, and they know what's happening with your hyper learning. But you weren't, so now you're doing it at what, age 50, 30, 60? That's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. And I'm doing therapy. You know what? Therapy, it's very controversial when you're starting to get into the subconscious wiping of the wiping of your subconscious, which is the flooring. It's really the subflooring. It's the basement that from where all of your structuring is happening, which could be fucking full of shit programmed by assholes all around you who gave you a false sense of yourself. And it's not really anybody's fault. It really isn't. You have to understand that. Some kids work that out at an early age. Are like, wait a minute, these people. They go the road of forgiveness. And I hate to say it, but it's like, okay, so I don't know anything about the extreme abuse that's around me. That everybody's like, they're not even human anymore. It's like, I'm so sorry. Get away from me. You're going to sit there and argue with me about that God doesn't exist. The truth? Maybe. You're dangerous. You should not be allowed to have kids either. But what's the first thing that these people do to hide? See, they tend to hide in each other. I found somebody who's going to save me, or they're both going to save each other. It's like, we're not going anywhere. Get away from each other. You're not going to fall off the face of the earth. Get away from each other. This whole fucking global population needs to be put in a reform school and therapy and learn how to live, learn how to live, learn how to live, learn how to live. Go for the basics. There's 3 things that we're doing here that are utmost important. And if you don't get this, you've gone insane. Safe shelter, healthy foods. But the main thing is keep your water clean. Get a clean water source. It comes along with getting your land together and just holding that your intellectual property. These are your rights. These are your birthrights, and they're clean gone now. Why? Because the organism is put in a crib and being taken care of by a big daddy that says you don't even have to know what you need. No, you know, we're just gonna keep hooking you up with these literal test tube fucking devices here, where now you're getting your social life from your electronics. Now pretty soon you're gonna get your food plumbed in here. You already got your fucking water plumbed in.